So I ordered some jewelry findings on Amazon. I thought, let me try and see if I can make a piece of jewelry out of this. And I picked a little turtle to try and make a shell for him. Along the way, I will share with you all the things that I've learned. So the first thing was to find a stone that's not too big, because I don't want to waste too much stone, but also it has to fit into the shape of the turtle. This one is beautiful. It's orange aventurine, but it's too small. There would be gaps on the bottom and a bit of a gap on the top. Searching. So after trying a few pieces that I have, a few of the rough pieces, I thought this piece of rose quartz actually should work pretty well. It's the right size, it just needed a lot of shaping to be done. And I bought a stencil with little ovals in anticipation of receiving the findings. So this is me trying to find which oval is the right one, so that I can trace the shape on the piece of stone. So this looks like the right one. I then went ahead and traced the same thing on the stone so that I can shape it in my flat lap. Welcome to my flat lap. This was quite a long process, getting the shape right. So I will fast forward through this a little bit. You don't have to watch all the boring bits. Throughout I kept trying to fit it into the little turtle mold so that I can see if it's the right shape. When I finally had that done, it was time to fix this so that I can actually do it more polished. As you can see, it's very askew, and it will need a lot of work to make this shell a little bit straighter. It's a little misformed turtle at this stage. I read somewhere that you can use super glue and a piece of wood, so that you can use the piece of wood then as a stick to do the shaping better. I didn't have any sticks, so I used some old pencils that I'm having. Later on you will see this was lesson number 1 learned. Don't use an old pencil to do this. Well, you can, but you have to prepare the pencil up front. And it took forever for the super glue to stick. I thought it would be an instant process. If you get it on your fingers, it's always instant. So this is the rock, or the piece of rose quartz, stuck to the pencil so that I can do the final shaping now on the flat lap and make it look more like a little turtle shell, a little bit rounder. Again, this took me a very long time, partly because I think the wheel is a bit blunt by now. I think it's time to change it. You have to really press hard and then you misshape it. This was a lot of trial and error, trying to get all the sides to be even. The right hand side is not so even, so back and forth. Now more or less the front and the back of the turtle is the same, but the sides are not quite the same yet, and there's like a big point on the top. So all the time back to the flat lap to try and shape it a bit better. I finally achieved a much more balanced shape, and then I went over to a finer disc just to take away all the cutting marks that I had. I think the one on the big wheel is a 300 grit and this is a 600 grit. So all the time back and forth just to smooth it out, so that you can't really see the cutting marks. This really took a long time to get it to be super smooth and not have any bulges or indents from the grinding process that happened on the 300 grit. This is me in high speed, but this probably took me about 25-30 minutes to complete. I decided it was smooth enough now to try and do the polishing. I built my own polishing system for my Dremel by sticking different layers of leather together. Someone said for polishing stones, leather with cerium oxide is a good idea. So this is the cerium oxide. I will just switch on the Dremel a little bit faster and then try and polish it on this system and see if it's working or not working. Unfortunately, it did not work. Despite my best efforts with the Dremel, it didn't take a shine. And then, stupid me, I remembered along with the jewelry findings, I also ordered a leather honing wheel that's used for polishing steel, knives, etc. when you sharpen them, which I thought would work better with this. So let's try that one. So this leather disc absolutely absorbed cerium oxide water like nothing, but it worked extremely well. I did a lot of rounds of polishing and then dipping it and wiping it to see if it's actually taking a shine. And then when I was happy, it was time to remove the little stone from the pencil that I had. So this is the lesson that I learned. I got this goo off, or whatever that dissolves super glue. It didn't work very well. And the other problem that I had was the liquid dissolved the paint that was on the pencil, and all of that got stuck on the back of the stone. I did so many rounds of this liquid and then trying to pull it off. And when I eventually did, you can see the damage that it did to the bottom. So I would definitely recommend cleaning the pencil very well, and maybe with a knife or a sharpener, taking off the bottom layer of paint that's on the pencil so that it doesn't get stuck on the jewel. After I got the bottom nice and clean, I put some super glue on the frame of the little turtle, and then I stuck the stone in. I wasn't sure how much super glue to use, and also I didn't want it to come out the bottom and then show, on the outside. I didn't want the glue marks to show at any point. The little turtle shell fit very nicely into the jewelry finding. I kept it for a few seconds just to make sure that it stuck, and this is my little turtle in the end. I made it a bit higher than I think it should have been, but the stone was so nice. I didn't want to lose any of that, the beautiful color that I had. It's not perfect, but I think for a first try it's actually not too bad, and it's a good practice round. Cheap jewelry findings and quartz.